looks like a Vectra. Under the bonnet, it has the same choice of engines as the Vectra. And under the body, the chassis is the same as you'll get in next year's Vectra Estate.
It even feels like a Vectra to drive. Apart from these silly indicators, which seem to have a mind of their own, it's just a collection of elements from the periodic table.
This, however, is not a Vectra. With its shapely but large J-Lo rear end, this is the future. This is the new Vauxhall Signum.
The most obvious difference from where I'm sitting is this panel in the roof, which contains lots of different storage bins. Now this one I can see is very useful for storing sunglasses. But these two here, it's difficult to fathom what you might fit in them. I mean, nothing you normally keep in a car would fit. Road maps, CDs, boxes of tissues, and so on. The only thing I have been able to find which does fit is a stick of celery, which, look at that. Perfect. And that shows a level of thoughtfulness and attention to detail that we've simply not seen from any other car maker. In every other car I've ever driven, the celery just kind of rolls around, getting in the way of the major controls, which is poor and can be dangerous.
No, really. Who else provides storage for celery? Not even the new Rolls-Royce has that.
The biggest change with this car, however, is to be found in the back. You get a lot more space than you do in a Vectra. And these seats slide forwards and backwards, and they recline, and they fold flat. The only trouble is there are only two of them. What you get in the middle in this base model, which costs £18,000, is a sort of drinks tray or an armrest or nothing at all. In the more expensive models, which cost up to £25,000, what you get here is a fridge and a DVD player. So this is a wonderful car for people in the back. And that's great, apart from one small thing. I've come to the M40 on a Tuesday morning at 11:15, and I'm going to give £1 to the Donkey Sanctuary in Devon for every car that drives past here in the next hour that has someone sitting in the back. No. 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 Discovery, 7 seats and 1 person in it. No, no, no. Vectra. Still no. Think of the donkeys! Yes! Right, time's up. Let's see how much we've raised for the donkeys. £4. 4 cars in an hour with someone in the back.
So why has Vauxhall made a car for a market that plainly doesn't exist?
They say it does. They say they did lots and lots of research and they found lots and lots of people who wanted tons of space in the back of their car, but only 2 seats. And all these people apparently had one thing in common. They were all men. And I understand that. First thing I do when I move into a new flat or a new house, forget the curtains and the carpets and the cooker. You get your television, your stereo and your PlayStation up and running. That's why I understand this car. It's perfectly reasonable to have a fridge cum DVD player instead of a seat. It's the obvious thing to do. It's fantastic.
Mumsy cars have lots of seats and are as sensible as big knickers, but this has lots of gadgets. So, it's the world's first dadsy car. The first car ever made which only works if you're sitting in the back.
Now, there are some problems with that, I admit. Like, you're not going to get a chauffeur to come and drive what's basically a Vectra. And if you can afford a chauffeur, you're not going to have a car like this. However, the great thing about being a man is that I can improvise. So, what I've got here is a hoe and another hoe and a sort of long extending arm thing, and some string, and some duct tape, and a clamp. And I think this is going to work. Right. We attach the end to this prong of the steering wheel here. Made in Germany, so it's very strong. Where are my scissors gone? And then we need the hoe, this one, on the extending arm. Good. I think I've thought of everything here. No, wait a minute. That's very good. This is a work of genius. I've got this to operate the gears. This one does the clutch, like so. This is for the throttle. And obviously that one does the brake as well. And this is the pièce de résistance, really. This is my steering. Look at that. Look at that! So, all I have to do now is test it, and I shall give £1 to the Donkey Sanctuary for every mile I cover without crashing. Okay, here goes. Handbrake off, and clutch in, into first, and everyone out the way. Go. Well, that's a problem. If you want to go right, you have to pull left. Right, give it a bit of throttle, and away she goes. And second. Nice. It works! It works!
No, this is wrong. No.
Thank you, everybody.
No, because it didn't work, Jeremy.
It did. You saw it work.
It worked that time. It didn't work the first time you tried it, did it?
It went a bit wrong.
Well, you crashed. That's wrong.
I just slightly went into a field.
And crashed.
And slightly broke the front.
Now, unfortunately, the cameras weren't rolling for that first take, which is sad. But this is actually better, because what I've got here is the insurance claim form. And the best bit is where it says, where were you at the time of the accident?